Yeah, Finn, are you right to do that then, yeah? Make it speed and once it's safe, yeah, make it safe, the city. The city. You're not even wearing a helmet, like what are we having trouble hearing for? Are you eating a Baby Bell?
No.
Yeah, what are you eating?
No.
Is it chocolates? I'm really hungry because it's quite a long ride here, so... What, hang on a minute. What is it? Is it, huh? You okay? What, is it bad? Oh, well, come on.
Did we have one of them?
I don't think so. Adrian, mate, come on. He's up high.
Whoa.
When you get back to Wondrous, just say that you were there anyway.
Yeah,
they're not going to notice. Welcome to the Wizard's Brush. My name is, of course, Irrelevant.
And I'm Finn.
Today, we are going to be refurbing this preloved Mumakil miniature.
Yeah, and with a few simple steps, we can bring it straight back to life.
We're going to take it even further by adding scratch-built and 3D printed elements.
Making it completely unique.
That's right. First off, we're going to be drowning the beast in paint stripper. Then after it's laying its own muck for half an hour or so, we're going to be scrubbing off the grub using these brushes. I've got a nail brush and a polish brush. You can use a toothbrush. This also loosens the super glue and we end up with pieces falling off. Good for us. However, some of the pieces are going to need a bit more of an aggressive negotiation technique. So using various tools, sawing, clacking, and rack-a-dack-dacking, we're going to end up with these bits, baby. Whilst I was destroying the Mumakil, I was also printing off these potentially useful parts on my resin printer. I'm going to be starting with this Haldor platform, filing down the pieces so they fit, and removing any bits that I don't want before gluing it together, and then gluing it to the Mumakil with these armour pieces.
I started to work on the Haldor using these kebab sticks to elevate the higher base. Then I superglued them together before sanding down so it's flush.
We've been working for a couple of hours now. We've had some challenges so far.
Now I'm going to do my testing of putting it on. It should fit in line down the middle, which will be good, but they are very flimsy.
My main issue has been the weight of the resin.
It's heavy.
I've superglued it again and again and again, and every time I stand it up it falls apart. So I don't know if it's going to work now, so I'm going to try and stand it up.
Ah, there we are. Looks pretty good.
It's time to reposition that head. So using green stuff, I'm going to make a neck, attach the head, fuse it using various sculpting tools. And also the ears had been glued on backwards, so we're going to be gluing those back on and using the remaining green stuff and this seam line remover to remove any gaps or seam lines on the model, including on this tusk and on the ears themselves. I added some extra elements and made sure that the tusks were glued in place. I repurposed this absolutely terrible green screen material as a kind of draping cloth down from the Haldor platform. Using Mod Podge and PVA mixed together with water, I applied that so it'll harden later. And now making sure that the little tusks are glued on.
I realised that I'd put it on the wrong way round. Also, the kebab sticks weren't strong enough, so it's time for a rethink.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Moving on from that brief interlude, we are using these platforms. They're the original platforms from the Mumakil, and I needed some supports, so I found these kebab skewers. I cut them up, and they'll be perfect supports for this platform. And I want to be able to put on a ballista and have a couple of models stand there, so it needs to be quite hardy and well supported, so these were perfect. Using the craft knife, I scored these pieces so they had a sort of wooden texture to them that will react really well to washes later on in the build. And then I glued on this ballista emplacement, which I absolutely love. I think it's a ridiculous addition to an already ridiculous beast. Then I found these shields, decided to add those, and they will offer a little bit of protection to the guy operating the ballista. Maybe, probably not though. I also used these spare orc shields that I had left over on a sprue. So I broke the tail while I was scrubbing it, so idiot, but there we go, fixing it.
I started to work on a safety rail whilst trying to think how to fit it to the hull door. In the meantime, I added the shields to the platform. I've just come into Hade's kind of room bit in here. This looks like it could have something in here. Here we go. And oh my god. Why is it all metal? Ooh! I mean, what is that? That's not going to help anything. We're definitely going to bring this. This is looking very... Also, I'm going to sneak out to his shed. In the shed. What is this going to do? Look at that. Also, loads of Ludwig stuff and other stuff. A Spider-Man umbrella. That's pretty cool. I'm taking this with me.
With the build almost complete, it is time to prime. So we're using this paint on primer to get to all of those bits you usually can't get to, then overspraying in this grey, and then using a bin liner to mask, we're going to spray all of the brown pieces with this trench brown, and we're going to use Agrax Earthshade to create a bit of contrast in the recesses. Then using Baraknar Burgundy, we're going to paint the cloth as an underlayer. And then using this black mixed with some water, we're going to create our own wash to go over everything that needs to be grey or metal. And this will be important later. Dry brushing over with a grey, all of the skin of the mummock, and we'll also be dry brushing over with a white later. But now it is time for some metals. So we're dry brushing over here using a silver, and then a gold for all the gold pieces, and then a lighter gold, then a lighter silver, and this is where it really comes together. And this was an old school but very effective technique in getting realistic metals. And now using Vampire Garments, we're going to be brushing up towards the highlights, and then pure red to get that even more vibrant on the cloth there. Look at that. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at it go. And then some Carabao Crimson to bring back a little bit more contrast. Finishing off the skin tones now before moving on to the tusks and anything that needs bringing up in the woodwork. And Agrax Earthshade to bring a bit more contrast back, and then using that Agrax to create some texture on the tusks and toes. And there we have it. And then giving a bit of life to the eye with a spot of white. And then all of the little silver details on all the little bits. Bit of Drakenhof Nightshade there to create a sort of cold metal look, and then finishing off all the shields with a bit more Baraknar. PVA glue, this brush, and the original base. What's about to take place? That's right, we're going to be creating a unique clay base.
Yeah!
After isopropiling all of the surfaces, I rolled it out and then applied it to the base itself, and I sculpted a kind of desert sand look using sculpting tools and my fingers. After 24 hours it was ready to be primed, first in black, then trench brown, then skeleton bone. I also primed these various other terrain pieces for later. Then I created a wash mix, then after that dried I started to dry brush it up towards the highlights.
After my last mistake with the kebab sticks, I decided to reinforce them to make sure they're stronger, which became my final design.
Now Finn is finished with the build. I'm priming in black first, then skeleton bone. Then, to be super efficient, I'm using Agrax Earthshade to create the wooden parts and the contrast at the same time. Now using Baraknar Burgundy again, we're going to match the colour scheme from the other cloth piece we made earlier.
I now tagged in to do the final dry brushes of the Haldor. Using this lovely red, you can see it really highlights the highlights. Yep, that's what it does. This is dry brushing for you. Yep, look at me go. Brush, 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 dry brush, brush. Yep, now I'll make a brighter orange, which will further increase the highlights, giving that more depth. As you can see here, ooh.
With our grip on sanity loosening, we're gluing these last two pieces of the Haldor together, and we'll be adding these little bits of string as rope, bits of kebab skewer to weigh down the rope, And then we're going to be putting on little bits of cloth using this old green screen material to create a sort of tent-like feel and protect the people inside from the searing sun of Harad. And rolling up little bits of it here using super glue so that we can leave bits of it open so you can see inside. Adding some secret sauce.
Now to add the burgundy to the green cloth. As you can see, we are rushing here because we're so stressed and we're just done with this project, but it was so fun, and oh my god, dry rushes, and then I started to hallucinate that things were...
So it's been a month of just solid work on this thing. We have this beast of a Mumakil done.
It looks awesome. I mean, look at it. Look at the difference. It's huge.
Scratch building, 3D printing, stripping down vintage, pre-loved miniatures, and then repainting them. We had to fix this thing.
Oh, it was a mess.
Yeah.
Yes, as you saw.
Bring it back to life, and then add our own twist on it. So there is a printable, it's called a war elephant, I believe, from Lord of the Prince, and you can print a whole Mumakil, so I used bits of that. But my favourite bit, and I think our favourite bit of this build, which was not easy to get to work, is this.
Look at that. That's what we need.
Magnets,
That is
right? As promised, a War Mumak of Harad, custom built using pretty much all of our crafting disciplines, 3D printing, scratch building, and refurbing. And we're immensely proud of this thing. It took a very long time to make. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, put the notification bell on so you don't miss a video. And if you'd like us to do anything else, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. To know more about custom miniature builds, you should watch one of the videos linked on screen now.